In the headlines for this hour on VTV News, Party General Secretary Theo begins official visit to Malaysia. And Vietnam re-elected to UN International Trade Law Commission. Later on in our world news, U.S. vetoes UN Security Council resolutions on Gaza ceasefire.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 3 p.m. local time in Hanoi, and you're watching VTV News. On Thursday morning, Party General Secretary Theo, his spouse, and a high-ranking Vietnamese delegation arrived in the capital, Kuala Lumpur, beginning an official visit to Malaysia at the invitations of Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim and his spouse. The official visit to Malaysia by Party General Secretary Theo is a concrete step in the foreign policies of the 13th National Party Congress, contributing to promoting solidarity among ASEAN members, demonstrating Vietnam's consistent foreign policies of attaching importance to its friendly, neighborly relations and strategic partnership with Malaysia. Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim appreciated the significance of the visit, affirming that Malaysia attaches great importance to its relations with Vietnam, the only country in Southeast Asia that has a strategic partnership with Malaysia. Party General Secretary Theo affirmed that Vietnam always appreciates Malaysia's companionship and support since the early years of the period of innovation and integration into ASEAN and the international community. On Wednesday night, Vietnam time, a solemn ceremony was held in Santo Domingo to welcome Prime Minister Phạm Minh and his spouse on an official visit to the Dominican Republic. After the ceremony, Prime Minister Phạm Minh and President Luis Abinader had an important meeting. In a sincere, friendly, and open atmosphere, the two leaders emphasized the significance of the first high-level visit since Vietnam and the Dominican Republic established diplomatic relations in 2005. Considering this a historic milestone and an important driving force to bring bilateral relations to a new stage of deeper and more practical development, the two sides agreed to expand and deepen bilateral cooperation in all areas, especially in economics, trade, investment, and avoiding double taxation. They also discussed collaborating across agriculture, science and technologies, green transformation, the digital economy, telecommunications, renewable energy, culture, tourism, and more. The two leaders further agreed to strengthen trade promotion, business connections, and expand markets for each country's key products. This afternoon, National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn led a high-ranking delegation of the Vietnamese Party and State to pay an official visit to the Kingdom of Cambodia to attend the 12th plenary meeting of the International Conference of Asian Political Parties and the 11th plenary meetings of the International Parliaments for Tolerance and Peace. They visited at the invitations of the President of the Cambodian People's Party, Samdech Techo Hun Sen, President of the Cambodian National Assembly, Samdech Hun Sundari, and Chairman of the Standing Committee of the International Conference of Asian Political Parties, Chong Woo Zong. The visit is of profound significance in continuing to consolidate, cultivate, expand, and further strengthen the Vietnam-Cambodia relationship while demonstrating Vietnam's sense of responsibility and readiness to participate and contribute to global and regional issues. On Wednesday night, Vietnam time, the UN General Assembly held elections for members of the United Nations Commissions on International Trade Law for the 2025-2031 term. Vietnam was honored to be selected as one of the candidates from the Asia-Pacific region, securing a significant number of votes. Our VTV correspondent from New York, United States, provided more details.
Vietnam was elected for the second consecutive term with 175 of 183 votes. In the Asia-Pacific region, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, Sri Lanka, China, Japan, and South Korea were also elected. The high number of votes from these countries is a recognition of the contributions from the previous term and the achievements of all aspects of Vietnam's diplomatic cooperation in recent years.
Vietnam's contributions have been recognized by the international community, highlighting Vietnam's sense of responsibility. We were nominated as a candidate by the entire Asia-Pacific group as early as June 2024, which provided a strong foundation for securing a high number of votes in the recent election.
Vietnam's re-election to UN Citral for a second consecutive term reflects its active integration into multilateral law, gaining international experience and contributing to the UN's work. Vietnam, along with the other elected countries, will begin a 6-year term in the International Trade Law Commission in July 2025. With its experience, Vietnam is expected to play a key role in shaping fairer and more suitable international trade laws.
As of mid-November, Vietnam total import-export turnover has reached over 681 billion US dollar, which is equal to the whole of last year's turnover. This is according to statistics from the General Department of Customs, of which export reached over 352 billion US dollar. The commodity groups within turnover in the billions of dollars include computers, electronic products, phones, textiles, and footwear. It is expected that this year import-export turnover could reach about 780 billion US dollars. Despite saving interest rates stabilizing at relatively low levels in the beginning of the year, banks continue to attract significant deposits. Currently, over 7 quadrillion Vietnam dong is held in the banking system, marking a record high. This substantial resource enables banks to meet the economy's capital demands, particularly for productions and business activities as the year-end approaches.
Even as her deposit matures, this customer opts to reinvest her money in the bank, despite current interest rates being only marginally higher than those available earlier this year.
My current deposit interest rate is 5.2% for a 6-month term. I chose this term for its flexibility, allowing me to withdraw if needed.
Safety, steady returns, and minimal risk are key reasons many prefer saving money in banks, particularly in a market where other investment channels remain uncertain.
I chose this term for its flexibility, allowing me to withdraw if needed. Banking remains my choice because it offers both safety and profitability.
Currently, joint stock banks offer interest rates of 5.3 to 5.8% for 1-year term deposits, while state-owned banks offer slightly lower rates. Despite the year-end business season, deposit interest rates at many banks have remained relatively stable for months.
The deposit interest rate is expected to remain at its current level. Additionally, the domestic economy remains stable, inflation is under control, and depositors continue to receive good returns.
Our mobilization remains strong, providing a solid foundation for maintaining a stable and abundant source of capital. This enables more favorable lending conditions based on stable and low interest rates.
Over 291 billion USD in household savings are currently held in the banking system, and this amount is expected to keep growing. Financial experts believe that investors remain cautious about other investment channels, such as stocks and real estate. As a result, many continue to prefer bank deposits as a safer option.
Vietnam has surpassed Mexico to become the leading country in the global manufacturing relocation trend. According to data from S&P Global Market Intelligence, the survey showed that Vietnam is increasingly attractive to international businesses. More than 35% of Vietnamese companies recorded increased demand from multinational manufacturers in the past year. Vietnam's highly skilled workforce is also one of the factors for companies to consider relocating production bases. Furthermore, Vietnam has advantages such as its geographical locations and easy access to large markets in Asia. The Vietnamese government also implements many policies to support foreign investment. Producers and importers are required to take responsibility for their environmental impact throughout the product's entire life cycles, encompassing design, productions, consumptions, and disposal. This principle, known as Extended Producer Responsibility or EPR, is mandated under the 2020 Law on Environmental Protection. However, after a year of enforcement, numerous challenges remain evident.
This business has stopped using plastic shrink wrap for bottle caps and replaced plastic spoons with biodegradable alternatives made primarily from starch. These measures illustrate practical efforts to align with the law, but broader implementation issues persist.
We collaborated with the manufacturer to identify and reduce specific indicators. For instance, the thickness was reduced by 3 millimeters and the width by 5 millimeters.
In practice, many companies producing canned goods and packaged products are adopting solutions to increase the proportion of recycled plastic used annually. While the system is designed to center on collection and recycling responsibilities, this has not yet been fully realized in practice.
Waste segregation at the source in Vietnam remains ineffective. As a result, returning materials to packaging production involves significant challenges. Additionally, there is currently no policy on the use of virgin plastic in packaging manufacturing.
In Hanoi, where 7,500 tons of waste is generated daily, effective collection and segregation could theoretically allow 8 to 20% of this waste to be recycled. However, in Hoan Kiem district, only about 1.5% of household waste is recycled daily, a stark contrast to its potential.
Unofficial collectors often collect waste using oversized tricycles, operating without proper regulation. Meanwhile, official units like ours must ensure all vehicles are licensed and adhere to prescribed volume limits, making the collection process more challenging.
One current proposal from businesses is to implement a flexible policy allowing them to choose between paying fees or handling recycling independently. Companies investing in technology would gain significant advantages under such a system.
Before moving on to some other news, let's take a look at foreign exchange rate for today, November 21st. Coming up next on VTV News, Vietnam Information Security Day 2024 opens. And New Rice celebration, a unique cultural practice of Dao people. Every day, technology units in Vietnam have to handle about 50,000 warnings about information security risks. Cyber attacks are becoming more sophisticated with the support of AI. These were some of the topics discussed at the Vietnam Information Security Day conference held on Thursday morning in Hanoi. The theme of the workshop was Information Security for National Data Infrastructure and Digital Platforms. Aside from issues, a series of key solutions were discussed regarding information monitoring and preventing and removing online information violating the law. Some of the proposals for this included making internet service providers responsible for protecting users from accessing information sources that violate the law and cause information insecurity. Another solution was for digital content providers to apply technology to classify and display warnings about content that is not suitable for users, especially children. It was also asserted that heads of organizations must closely coordinate with functional agencies to share information and data to detect and provide early warnings of information security attacks. In 2024, Vietnam's brand value ranked 32nd out of 193 countries, reaching $507 billion, a 2% increase and an improvement of one position from the previous year, according to Brand Finance. Between 2019 and 2023, Vietnam's national brand grew the fastest globally, with a 102% increase. While the growth rate has slowed in the past 2 years, it continues to drive sustainable foreign direct investment. Key sectors like telecommunications, technology, banking, and food and beverage have significantly contributed to the development of Vietnam's national brand. Outstanding young academics in the fields of social sciences and humanities on Friday will be awarded the first Phie Văn Các Award. This award is organized by the Central Committee of the Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union to affirm the role of this field for the development of the country. This time, 9 young academics will be honored.
Born and raised in Lạng Sơn province, Dr. Lý Viết Trường has a passion for researching and learning about cultural characteristics associated with the Nung and Tây people. His studies on lion dance, Thang dancing have made important contributions to preserving and promoting the value of these heritage.
My works focus on the social life, cultural heritage, and economic life of ethnic groups. The study of these aspects will contribute to defining the identity of ethnic groups in modern life.
The 9 young academics honored in the first Phie Văn Các Award are all under 35 years old, from many different fields: law, education, economics, culture, art, philosophy, political science, and sociology. The research work addresses many current social issues and proposals to cope with those issues.
The quality of the research works is very good. Young people have had access to modern research methods and theories and have applied them in practice. They have contributed to the development of documents and policies of the party and state, as well as policy suggestions on the current issues of social concern.
This award will be an encouragement for young academics to devote themselves to science and contribute to the country. Furthermore, we want to spread the movement and spirit of learning among young people so that more and more young people will be interested in the field of social science.
The award not only honors academic research achievements, but also spreads the value of social sciences and humanities, promotes research to solve practical social problems, and actively contributes to the country's sustainable development.
At the end of the year, the yellow of ripe rice crops will fill the rice field in Vietnam Northwest. In Ba Sat District, Lao Cai Province, during this time, the new rice celebration will take place for Dao people to pray for favorable weather and good harvest. This is a ritual imbued with traditional culture, closely associated with the life of the people here for generations.
After choosing a good day to organize the new rice celebration, the members of Tân Mei Ta's family were busy preparing the offering tray for the ceremony. The offering tray was solemnly prepared to show respect of the people here.
When the rice is ripe, we go to harvest it, then cook. We must offer it as thanks to our ancestors. The gods will bless us with a bountiful harvest.
On the offering tray of the new rice ceremony in Tong Sang, there must be a bowl of rice, a pair of chopsticks, long beans, and fried fish. The agricultural products are offered to ancestors, carrying many wishes about good crops, a prosperous life, and happiness for every member of the family.
In the offering ceremony, we invite our ancestor, the spirit of the rice mother, and the village god to witness the sincerity of the homeowner. We also thank them for blessing us with a bountiful harvest and a warm and happy family.
The new rice ceremony is a traditional cultural feature that the Dao people have respected and preserved for generations. This is an opportunity for family members and neighbors to reunite after a hard year. No matter how busy they are, they still try to find time to gather with their families for this special occasion.
Coming up next in our War News, U.S. vetoes UN Security Council resolutions on Gaza ceasefire. And price competition during Thanksgiving season in the U.S. The United States has vetoed a UN Security Council push to call for a ceasefire in Gaza. The 50-member council voted on a resolution put forward by 10 non-permanent members that call for an immediate, unconditional, and permanent ceasefire in the 13-month conflict and separately demanded the release of hostages. Only the U.S. vetoed against, using its veto as a permanent council's member to block the resolution. Robert Wood, Deputy U.S. Ambassador to the UN, said Washington had made clear it would only support a resolution that explicitly called for the immediate release of hostages as part of a ceasefire. He added that the U.S. cannot support this resolution because a durable end to the war must come with the release of the hostages. Other UN Security Council members rarely criticized the U.S. for blocking the resolution put forward by the Council's 10 elected members. North Korea and Russia on Thursday have signed a protocol on expanding cooperation after holding the 11th meeting of the Intergovernmental Committee for Cooperation in Trade, Economy, Science and Technologies the previous day. Yoon Jong-ho, the External Economic Relations Minister of North Korea, and Russia Natural Resources Minister Alexander Kozlov signed the protocol, as Pyongyang and Moscow have been boosting their bilateral partnership, including military cooperation. The North Korean state media did not disclose details about the agreement, but Russia TASS news agencies reported Wednesday that North Korea and Russia agreed to increase the number of charter flights. The agreement calls for organizing direct flights not only from Russia's eastern regions, but also from its largest cities. Currently, only a flight route connecting Russia, Vladivostok, and Pyongyang is in operation. Ukraine on Wednesday downplayed the threat of any imminent and large-scale missile threat after several foreign embassies in Kiev announced their temporary closure. The Italian and Greek embassies in Ukraine on Wednesday said that they were temporarily closed for safety reasons, while the Spanish diplomatic missions informed it would not provide services on November 20th due to the increased risk of airstrikes across Ukraine. The move by the embassies follows an earlier move by the United States embassies in Kyiv. The U.S. State Department expects its embassies in Kyiv to return to normal operations on Thursday. Thanksgiving is one of the most meaningful holidays of the year for Americans. This is not only a time for families to reunite, but also a period when consumers face spending pressure. Meanwhile, major supermarket chains are racing with a series of promotional programs to win a place on the dinner tables of millions of families.
With food prices rising 23% over the past 3 years, Thanksgiving shopping has become a difficult task for many American families. Realizing this, major supermarket chains such as Walmart, Target, and Aldi have launched attractive promotions focusing on food savings to ease the pressure of spending.
That you used to be able to just come in the store and pick out whatever, you didn't have to worry about it. But now you got to be more conscious with what you're buying and the pricing on what you're buying.
Walmart currently leads the market with a 29-piece party pack for 8 people for just under $55, less than $7 per person. In addition, rivals like Target and Aldi offer packs ranging from $20 to $47, well below pre-pandemic prices.
No, I guess I'm an optimist. I feel that we're going in the right direction, or had been, and that things had come down, gas prices had come down.
Private label brands like Walmart's Great Value are also popular, helping consumers save money. But private label brands aren't always cheaper. According to research from Wells Fargo, some big brand name products are still available at lower prices.
There are a lot of retailers that are offering bundles out there, but you can also shop with store brands and a mixture of some name brands and still save money.
The average price of a Thanksgiving dinner for 10 people this year is down nearly 3% from last year, but still 42% higher than in 2019.
And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's all new for today. To rewatch our program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download our mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.